Today, we're going to be learning about the Declaration of Independence. And I know what some of you are thinking. Mr. Lindquist, this is some dusty old document from 250 years ago. This doesn't even apply to me. Why am I learning about this? No. A lot of our problems today would go away if we viewed our government through the same lens of the Declaration. If we held our government to the same standard that the founders held the King of England to. This is our mission statement. This is who we are. This is the most important document I'm going to teach you through the rest of this course. And if more Americans knew it, how you're going to know it after this video, then we'd be in pretty good shape as a country. So let's learn. Let's buckle up. Here we go. All right. Question. Have you ever had to end a relationship? A breakup? Maybe you've only watched one on TV, but what did you do? What did the other person want to know? The Declaration of Independence is a breakup letter, the best breakup letter of all time. And who are we breaking up with? The King of England. We're breaking up with Britain because he just doesn't get us anymore. Okay, and what do you do when you have a breakup? You probably post it all over social media. You probably want it to be really public, especially if it's a messy breakup. You want to let everybody know, it's not me, it's them. They're the bad. That's what they did. That's what this document is. It spread all over. It was on social media of the time, okay? And a statement about what our government ought to look like. We've got the founders over here. Declaration was primarily written by Thomas Jefferson, but John Adams and Ben Franklin were there to edit and add in some things. And this guy over here, King George III of Great Britain. Now, how did we get here, all right? I mean, how do we get here? Yeah, the king, he wants to know why. Why are we breaking up? Well, things were good, right, in a relationship? Well, they started out good, but ultimately we have this clash in the view of human nature. You see, we've got this idea that all men are created equal. We've got this idea that government gets its power from the social contract. And the king has an idea that I'm not equal to you. I'm way above you. I get my power from God, a divine right to rule. And the founders say, yeah, we're not really into that anymore. We think that we give the government power through the social contract. But I mean, why should a bunch of colonists even be able to approach the king? Well, again, it's a series. This doesn't happen overnight. This is a long process, and you've read about that in this class, but the founders, they don't just say, let's start a revolution and burn down the system. Not at all. They begged the king. They begged the king, just give us rights, give us representation in parliament. We don't want to fight. We want to be part of England, but treat us equally. These guys are Enlightenment thinkers, and they have these documents, right? The Magna Carta was written in 1215. That's the first document that really limits the power of the king to some extent. Now, he can still do pretty much what he wants, but then we have 400 years later, the Petition of Rights, and that gives people more power, okay? So this is a slow process, but in the colonies, we're kind of viewed as second-class citizens here in the United States, the Americas. And we have taxation, we're taxed, but we don't have any representation, because why would you filthy peasants in Americas get representation in Congress? And what would happen is we would vote people in, and the king would just replace the governors with people he liked. Nah, I know you voted for that, and it was democratic and everything, but yeah, I'm going to put my guy in because, you know, he's a loyalist to me. And that's not good. That really bothered the people. And there was a lot of different things that the founders talk about in the Declaration. And so the colonists have different rights than the people of England. And this really leads to this process of revolution. And we sign the Declaration of Independence, and again, it's by Thomas Jefferson, July 4th. This is why you celebrate. This is why we have fireworks, and this is why you wear red, white, and blue and go to parades and eat hot dogs and hamburgers and burgers, and I just said burgers. I mean, this is what it's about. And we're a new nation, but we haven't even won yet. I mean, we're not even close to winning, and I guess I wish I could teach this to you as a history teacher, because the founders have no chance in beating the British. Nobody gave us a chance. The British didn't think it was real. Like, these are just, it's the rebels. They're not going to do anything. Nobody in the world thought we had a chance. It would be like a bunch of farmers from Corunna, Michigan, taking on the Navy SEALs. No chance of winning. But we do. We win. Okay, and so let's dig into the Declaration. What does it actually say? Why should I care? All right, let's do a little reading. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. Unanimous, public. This is for the world to see. Now, they had to be unanimous. I just told you, there's no way they're going to win if they're separated. If they are not together in this revolution. Did they agree on everything? No, not even close. These guys had bitter disagreements. Slavery being one of the issues. Northern colonies like Massachusetts were against it. Southern colonies said, well, it's part of our way. And that was a problem for the founders, but they said we have to stick together. Some of these states didn't even like each other, like not at all. But they said, well, we'd rather be free together than, under this rule of the king. Let's keep going. Okay, step 1, the breakup. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume on the powers of the earth the separate and equal station which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. Before I move on any further to that, just notice a few things, and you might want to underline this if you've got it in front of you, but it's when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary. This is timeless. They don't talk about this only applies to the 1700s. They don't say that, this is only for the British. This could be used for anybody, and they want it to be used for anybody. They want this to spread, this revolution of all men being created equal, which we haven't got to yet, but this is for anybody. Again, we can separate and equal station. We're not better than England. We're not saying we're better than England, but we're not worse. So treat us the same, treat us equal. And why can we do this? Why can we revolt? Because the laws of nature, right? Self-defense kind of thing, laws of nature, what happens in nature, and of nature's God, right? We're not just animals. We have a higher moral standard than animals. We have right and wrong. And that's why we're going to go on and justify this revolution. But this entitles them. But a decent respect to the opinions of mankind require that they should declare the causes which impel them for separation. So basically, hey, prove it. Why? Why are you revolting? And prove it to mankind. Men, women, children. Prove it to Europeans and Asians. Prove it to kings and peasants and merchants. Prove it to mankind. Step 1, the breakup. Step 2, who we are. King, you just don't get us. It's not us. It's not me, it's you. No, it's you, King. You don't get us anymore. You don't understand. We're breaking up. Because we hold these truths to be self-evident. These truths that all men are created equal. Really? That's revolutionary, guys. People don't believe that at this time. The king certainly doesn't believe that. He says, I'm not equal to you. That bum on the street, me and him are equal? Yeah, equal. Created equal. That they're endowed by their creator. They are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. What does endowed mean? That means given to, granted. They're granted by the creator with rights. Where do rights come from? The creator. Not from government. Now, the founders were really serious about this, right? They don't believe that rights come from the government. Rights come before the government. Rights already exist. So what's the government there for? Among these rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have a right to life. You have a right to your freedom. You're born free. You're born with life. You're born with the ability to pursue your own happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. So we need a government. The founders aren't saying no government then. No, we need a government. What's the role of the government? To secure the rights that were given by the creator. Okay? And again, rights are from outside of the government. That's the most important thing. And where does government get its power? Deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, from the people, from the voting, from the social contract. The government gets power from the people, and their job is not to give a bunch of free stuff away. That's not their job. not to necessarily even provide things according to the founders. According to the founders, their job is to secure rights. That's their job. So whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, so if a government isn't protecting life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, what can happen? It is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. So we can change the right of the people to change the government if they're not protecting life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We can change it or get rid of it, but not just get rid of it and have anarchy and go back to the state of nature. No, that we must institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to seem likely to affect their safety and happiness. So the new government must protect life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, those God-given, creator-given rights. Step 3. Well, okay, prove it. You say that you say you can do this. Well, prove it. Has the king done this? I don't think the king has done this. He has. He has. As you read through this document, the list of grievances goes on and on and on. It says, the history of the king, the present king of Great Britain. Now, notice, we're like 3 paragraphs in, and this is the first mention of Britain. This is the first mention of the king. Other than that, the first 2 spots could be against anybody, against any ruler. Now, this part is proving it of the king. King of Great Britain's repeated injuries. Not just one time, right? He didn't violate your rights one time, not even 2 times. Repeated over and over and over and over and over again. Repeated injuries, all having direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. And to prove this, we're going to show the world all the times he has. As you read through this, it talks about all the times the king has broken. All the times the king has violated the social contract and taken away rights and trampled on rights and said, you're not really worth anything, people of the Americas. And so to prove that, they list all the times that they did that. And again, like I told you, they're giving a right to this revolution. They're justifying this revolution. But it's important to know that they begged. This is their last resort, having violent revolution. This is their last resort. And so they're proving all the times that he's trampled on their rights. And they're saying, well, this is what government ought to be like. Okay? So from there, that is the Declaration. I need you to keep reading that as you go through, but I wanted to give you a good foundation, a good start to what the Declaration of Independence is and how we really need to own this. We really need to know this. This is who America is. This is what we believe as Americans. This is freedom. This is what freedom needs to be like, and the structure of government needs to be like. Now, again, this is our mission statement, and America hasn't always lived up to this. And you know what? Maybe we never have. That doesn't mean we throw out the document. The document is good. The document is great. Hold the government accountable to that document. Let's get better. Let's be closer to protecting life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That all men are created equal, men, women. That we're all equal, all right? Great. So keep reading that, and I'll see you again next time.